except that I like listening to it. I never really seen bands. So I just thought, well, that's totally out of reach. I mean, how would I wouldn't be able to do that any more than I would be able to be, you know, a king or a queen or a movie star. These are all completely, it's just different. So I thought, well, you know, what can I do at 13 or 14 or 15? I think, well, I can skateboard. And the thing about being a skateboarder was at the time, that 70s era is when the urethane wheel came along. Skateboarding, though it was thought of as like a yo-yo almost, or a hula hoop, like a hobby, but it wasn't.
Did you have one of those skinny boards?
In the beginning, sure.
Boards?
Yeah. And then I had the fat ones, you know, went all, but skateboarding was not a hobby, and skateboarding certainly wasn't a sport. Like, nobody took it seriously as a sport. But none of us thought of it as sports, because sports were kind of, you know, sports had no, we weren't trying to be competitive in that light. Skateboarding was a discipline, because it was just a stick, a piece of wood with some wheels on it. You brought it to life, right? You brought it to life. You're the one, your investment is what made it more than a piece of wood with some wheels tacked onto it. What you did with it, what individually you did with it, with your friends, what you did socially with it, what you did with that skateboard. One thing skateboard for me, what a skateboard did for me was took me out of the party. You go to the high school party and everybody's like, we're going to get drunk. I'm like, later, we're going skating. I always had somewhere to be. Because skateboarding, we just go skateboarding. You go out in the middle of the night and the world was yours. You had a whole other world to look at. And skateboarding taught me how to redefine that world around me. So I think skateboarding as a discipline and as something that knit me and my friends together, like my closest friends skateboarding, like Henry Garfield, Henry Rollins, right? That's our friendship was founded on skateboarding and listening to rock and roll together. But those people, like yesterday, I visited with my friend Mark Sullivan, who was also like on the skateboard team with me. These are like super tight. We saw ourselves as outcasts from society, renegades who had found something to focus on that took us out of other people's affairs, and we had our own thing to do. Perfect training for punk rock. Because once punk came along, and I started learning about it from my high school friends in 1978, really. And I'd seen it, the media's depiction of it, which was, you know, ridicule and like sensationalist. But my friends got into it, and I remember saying, like, well, this music is weird sounding. It scares me. I don't like it. And I hear that at parties. And then I kept arguing, oh, Ted Nugent's good and punk sucks. But then at some point, they said, well, have you studied it? Have you actually listened to it? No. So I borrowed records. I listened to them. They were freaky sounding and scared. I've said this in many interviews, but I'll say it again, that if you grow up eating a hamburger and french fries for dinner every night, when someone puts down a bowl of vegetable rice vermicelli in front of you, it doesn't look like or smell like or taste like dinner. But it is dinner for millions and millions and millions and millions of people, and it's probably better for you. It just takes that moment of learning how to switch your brain. I had already learned how to switch my brain through skateboarding.